All right, Monarchs, welcome to the second video for lesson 1.5, simplifying expressions using the distributive property. Last video, we went over the top. Here, we went over the definition. We explained that the distributive property means we multiply the number on the outside of the parentheses by everything inside the parentheses. And then we did a couple equations, okay? So I'm going to move on to example 1c. On the outside here, you can see that we have 3x, and we're going to distribute that into the 2x minus 3. Okay, so we're going to distribute this into there and into there. Okay, every time I draw those arrows, that just shows that we have to multiply this number times both of those inside the parentheses. Okay, then they have it broken up for us down here. All right, so we have 3x times 2x and 3x times negative 3. Okay, when I do 3x times 2x, the first thing that I want to do is multiply my two big numbers together. In this case, it's this 3 times this 2. So I have 6. And then anytime I multiply two variables together, they become, so they all have a little exponent right here of a 1. Anytime that they don't have an exponent, they have an exponent of a 1. And anytime we multiply variables, we add their exponents. So that'll give us 2x's. So we have 6x squared. And then we do plus 3x times negative 3. Remember, this is a positive times a negative. So it's going to be a negative 9x. And we cannot combine those like terms because this is an x squared and this is an x. An x squared is not the same as an x, so we cannot combine terms there. Okay, so this would be my final answer. That's as far as we can go for that one. Okay. All right, let's look at example 2. So it says simplify each expression using distributive property and then combine like terms. Remember when we were talking about like terms, it means that they share the same variable. We can only combine numbers that share the same variable or constants, numbers that don't have a variable, okay? So we're using the distributive property and we're using, or we're combining like terms, okay? So for example 2a, I'm going to distribute this 6 into the a and into the 8, okay? So I'm going to set up my two multiplication problems, okay? So down here, I have 6 times a, right? That's my first multiplication problem. When I multiply 6 times a, that's what I get, plus, in parentheses, 6 times 8. And that just shows you that I have two different multiplication problems here. I have 6 times a and 6 times 8, and I broke it up like that, okay? So if I do 6 times a, remember that there's a little invisible 1 in front of that a. So I get 6a. I'm going to bring down my plus sign. And I have 6 times 8. That is 48. Okay? And that is our correct answer. All right, let's move on to 2b. It says 3 times x plus 4. Okay? 3 times x plus 4. I'm going to highlight the 3 because I've been highlighting the number I'm going to distribute into the parentheses. We have 3 times x plus 4. So I'm going to distribute this 3 into the x and into the 4. So down here, I'm going to make my two multiplication problems. Okay, my first one is going to be 3 times x, because that's what's first in the parentheses. Then I'm going to do plus, make more parentheses, and my second multiplication problem is going to be 3 times 4. Okay, so if I do 3 times x, I get 3x, and then I do 3 times 4, that's 12. Okay, so all I did was to distribute this 3 into the x plus 4. I split it up into two different multiplication problems. I have 3 times x and 3 times 4. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 4 is 12. Since this 12 does not have an x, we cannot combine our terms here, so we just leave it 3x plus 12. Okay, let's do example 2c. So there's a 5 outside our parentheses now. Okay, there's a 5 outside our parentheses. We're going to distribute that 5 into what's inside the parentheses. So I'm going to draw my arrows, and I'm going to split it up into my two multiplication problems. My first one is going to be 5, because that's what's on the outside of the parentheses, times. The first number on the inside of the parentheses is 2x. So I'm going to do 5 times 2x plus 5 times. My second number in the parentheses is 2. So I have 5 times 2. To simplify this, 5 times 2x is 10x. And then 5 times 2 is 10. So my final answer is 10x plus 10. Okay. Remember, again, I did not combine like terms because this 10 does not have an x. I cannot combine like terms unless unless all my numbers share the same variable. If that 10 had an x attached to it, this one here, then we could add these together. But since only this 10 has an x attached to it, we leave them apart, and that's as far as we can simplify. Okay. We'll do one more video for this lesson, and then I'll have a homework help video.